to exam. Today we are going to start the new topic of plant physiology. In that plant physiology, the most important topic is one of the most important topic, photosynthesis in higher plants. From the plant physiology, then 10 to 12 questions are expected in the NEET exam. So from each topic of plant physiology, then 2 to 3 questions are expected. So then photosynthesis also one of the most important topic. Then today we try to understand this photosynthesis process. The definition of photosynthesis should be followed. The synthesis of carbohydrates in green plant by using carbon dioxide and water in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll. In the photosynthesis process, the end product is carbohydrate, which is a chief source food for entire living organisms. So after this definition, we try to understand the importance of photosynthesis on the planet of Earth. So photosynthesis is a primary life process for entire living organisms. That in this process, food is prepared, that is in the form of carbohydrates. It is then useful for plant species as well as for animal species. Then plants are autotrophic, but animals are heterotrophic. They take food from only plants. So then plants prepare food for itself as well as for animals. So it is then useful for evolving oxygen. That oxygen is the most important gas for each and every living organism to breathe. Without oxygen, no organism can exist. It is also important for conversion of solar energy into the chemical energy. On this planet of Earth, no organism have the capacity. The utilization of solar energy in this process, solar energy is converted into chemical energy. That chemical energy is nothing but carbohydrates. In this process, impure air which we feel, carbon dioxide is purified as pure air, that is nothing but oxygen. Means only in the process of photosynthesis, carbon dioxide is converted into oxygen, which is the most important for all the living organisms. Scientists and their contribution, we can see different types of scientists and their experiments to understand photosynthesis process. Then first one is Joseph Priestley. He is called as the father of plant physiology. He initiated the photosynthesis process takes place in the plant species. Then in this process, gases can be exchanged in between plant and animal as well as candle and plant. He demonstrated his conclusion by using mouse, candle and leaf plant. Then John Ingenhousz given a conclusion that photosynthesis process takes place in the present. Ingenhousz given a conclusion that photosynthesis takes place in the presence of only light. In the absence of light, photosynthesis does not take place. Lavoisier has explained that impure air made as a pure air by the process of photosynthesis. The pure air is nothing but oxygen. Means oxygen was discovered by Lavoisier. The name also given by Lavoisier. D. Sasser is a one more scientist. He gave an explanation what is important for photosynthesis. Julius van Schack demonstrated chlorophyll is present in the chloroplast. That chlorophyll is necessary for photosynthesis. Along with this statement, starch is the end product of photosynthesis. The two conclusions are given by Julius van Schack. Angel Man, one more scientist, he explained that light is important. The statement was already given by Ingenhousz, but that experimentally proved by Engelmann with the help of aerobic bacteria and Cladoflora. He has demonstrated VGR light is necessary for photosynthesis all the wavelength light races are not necessary, only VIBGYOR light races are necessary for photosynthesis. In the VIBGYOR, especially red and blue light is useful for maximum amount of food preparation. Only red and blue useful for maximum amount of food preparation, but green, the least amount of food is prepared well and good. So that light is important. In the light, VIBGYOR light is important. In the VIBGYOR, red and blue light is important for photosynthesis. In the sense, Joseph Priestley, Engine House, Lavoisier, De Sasser, Sack, Engelmann. Those scientists contributed different types of experimental work for understanding photosynthesis process. Then Joseph Priestley demonstration regarding photosynthesis process. Then we can see that in the different situations. The situation 1, he has chosen a burning candle, then closed in a bell jar and observed some period of time. After some period of time, the candle was put off. Then he has taken a live mouse, closed in a bell jar and observed. After some period of time, the mouse gets suffocation, means trouble in the breathing. So he has concluded by these two statements: candle as well as mouse need something air, something gas from the atmosphere. When that gas is available, the candle and mouse to be continued. When the gas was completed within the closed bell jar, the candle was put off and mouse starts to get suffocation, at last leads to die. Then situation 3, he has taken mint plant along with the burning candle, placed in the closed space of bell jar and observed this experiment. The burning candle continues to burn for a long period of time. They will never go for put off. Then they taken their situation 4, mint plant with the mouse light and closed in the bell jar, placed in the bell jar, observed some period of time that mouse was live even after long period of time. Then he was taken mint plant along with the burning candle and mouse, and they observed, they placed under the closed bell jar and observed that mouse as well as candle continues their status with the help of mint plant. At last, he concluded that then candle and mouse need something A from the atmosphere. That A is given from mint plant. The mint plant needs something gas, That gases is given by candle and mouse. Means he has given that statement. The plants restores to that air whatever breathing, animal and burning of candle remains. So that this explanation was given by Joseph Priestley. This Joseph Priestley experiment I am going to demonstrate by a small module. You can look at the module and try to observe the module. Then you can compare this theoretical matter with the demonstration matter.
Joseph Priestley, who discovered oxygen in 1774, performed a series of experiments to reveal the essential role of air in the growth of green plants. He observed that when a burning candle is enclosed in a bell jar, the flame of the candle is gradually put off. In the same way, a mouse also suffocates in a closed space, such as in an enclosed bell jar, and dies. From these observations, Priestley concluded that a burning candle and an animal change the composition of the air. He reasoned that something was necessary in the air to keep the flame burning and to make the mouse stay alive. Priestley then placed a mint plant inside the same bell jars, and he found that the mouse stayed alive and the candle, when lighted from outside, continued burning in the presence of the mint plant. Priestley hypothesized that the plants produced a gas, oxygen, that supported the burning of the candle and also allowed the mouse to survive respiration. The production of the gas takes place due to a massive exchange of gases occurring through a particular section of the leaves, called stomata, and also through loose tissues on stems, roots, etc. Let us discuss in brief about how carbon dioxide is useful for photosynthesis.
We can try to understand equation of photosynthesis. This equation was given by Van Leeuwen. In this equation, 6 molecules of carbon dioxide, 12 molecules of water in the presence of light and chlorophyll, 1 molecule of carbohydrate, 6 molecules of water, 6 molecules of oxygen is produced. To understand this equation, we have various experiments. That experiments will be explained by a small module. For each experiment, we have a small module. I will demonstrate by a small module. The first experiment is carbon dioxide is necessary for photosynthesis. Then light is necessary for photosynthesis. Then photosynthesis takes place only in the presence of chlorophyll. Means chlorophyll also necessary for photosynthesis. At the end of this photosynthesis, starch or carbohydrate is end product. Starch is the end product of photosynthesis. Along with this one, the last one is oxygen is evolved during photosynthesis process. Each experiment will be demonstrated by a small module.
Carbon dioxide is essential for photosynthesis. Here is a small activity that will demonstrate that carbon dioxide is essential for the process of photosynthesis. Select a potted, healthy plant with long and narrow leaves. Keep it in the dark for 2 or 3 days. This will ensure that the leaves are free from starch. Now, take a wide-mouthed glass bottle with a cork to close the mouth of the bottle. Split the cork vertically. On the day of the experiment, take 5 to 10 milliliters of potassium hydroxide solution in the bottle. Potassium hydroxide absorbs the carbon dioxide present in the bottle. Early in the morning, insert 1/2 of a selected leaf into the bottle through the split cork without cutting it from the plant. The other half of the leaf or the base part is to be left outside the cork. The bottle is to be kept airtight, which can be achieved by applying grease or Vaseline around the rim of the mouth of the bottle. Make sure that the outside air does not come in contact with the leaf in the bottle. Keep this unit in the sunlight for 3 to 4 hours. After 3 to 4 hours, detach the leaf from the plant and take it out of the bottle. Test it for starch with iodine solution. We'll observe that the part of the leaf which was inside the bottle does not turn deep blue. However, the part of the leaf that was exposed to the surroundings prepares starch and so turns deep blue. Note that both halves of the leaf receive the same amount of sunlight and water and both have chloroplasts. However, the portion of the leaf that was inside the bottle could not receive carbon dioxide. This proves that green leaves can perform photosynthesis only in the presence of carbon dioxide.
To demonstrate that light is necessary for photosynthesis. Requirements: potted plant, petri dish, boiling tube, alcohol 70%, iodine solution, Bunsen burner, forceps, beaker, water, dropper, black paper. Procedure: take a healthy potted plant and place it in dark for about 72 hours so that the leaves become free from starch. After 72 hours, select a leaf on the plant and cover a portion of it on both sides with black paper. Keep the potted plant with the covered leaf in sunlight for a few hours. After a few hours, detach the covered leaf from the plant and remove the black papers. Boil the leaf in water for a few minutes. Now boil the leaf in alcohol in a water bath till it becomes dull white due to the removal of chlorophyll. Wash the leaf with water and add iodine solution. Observation: the portion of leaf which was covered does not change color, whereas the portion which was uncovered turns blue-black. Inference and conclusion: the portion of leaf which was not covered received all the factors necessary for photosynthesis. Therefore, that part could only photosynthesize, whereas the one which was covered could not manufacture food. The presence of starch gave the positive test with iodine, that is, turned to blue-black color. Photosynthesis is the process of manufacturing of food by the green parts of the plant, especially the leaves, in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll, with the help of carbon dioxide and water.
Release of oxygen in photosynthesis. An Elodea plant is placed in a beaker filled with water and is covered with a glass funnel. A test tube filled with water is placed on the setting in a way to cover the tube part of the glass funnel. With the influence of light, the Elodea plant photosynthesize and produce oxygen bubbles. The oxygen bubbles move from the funnel into the test tube and collect here. In order to observe that the collected gas is oxygen, a burning match is brought near the test tube. The expansion of the flame shows that the collected gas is oxygen.
Now we can look at this concept from the discussed topic. Then how many types of questions having possibility to ask in NEET exam? Or typical, we can see these many questions. Question number 1: the hypothesis, plants restore to the air whatever breathing animals and burning candle was put forward by. It is one of the experiment was proved by one of the great scientists. So then this conclusion was given by Priestley. Indian House not, because of he has explained that light is necessary for photosynthesis. Then Engelmann also given that light is necessary for photosynthesis, but he has given that visual or visual light is necessary for photosynthesis, he has given with the demonstration. Van Schack has explained that chlorophyll is necessary for photosynthesis, but this purification of air by the process of photosynthesis demonstration was given by Priestley. So answer is right, is a B. 2. Then B. Second question is, in higher plants, the byproduct of photosynthesis is byproduct. So byproduct is, here is oxygen. Water, end product. Then starch, end product. ATP is produces as, but oxygen is a byproduct. It is produced before completion of photosynthesis. Hence, oxygen is called as a byproduct of photosynthesis. In higher plants, the end product of photosynthesis. Ultimately, the last product is starch. So, starch is an end product of photosynthesis. One more is which of the following colors of light means in the presence of which color maximum amount of photosynthesis takes place. Maximum amount of food preparation takes place. Green color, the least amount of food is prepared. In yellow, average, but blue and red is useful for maximum amount of food preparation. So answer is 3. So these 4 technical questions are discussed from the completed topic. Then these type of questions will be asked many more. So typically 4 we discussed here. Then questions are asked in the previous NEET exam. Then question 1 is, photosynthesis is maximum in, means in the presence of light. The options are given green light, then option 2 is given as blue followed by red light, then option 3 is given as red followed by blue light, option 4 is given as a blue light. Then you can guess what is the right answer. Oxygen is, question number 2, oxygen liberated during photosynthesis come from either carbon dioxide or water or chlorophyll or sunlight. From where does the oxygen is liberated? You can guess it now. I'll tell you once.
Now we can try to understand few more previous questions asked in the NEET. Question number 1. Which would do maximum harm to a tree? Option A is given loss of half of its branches. 2. Option is loss of all its bark. Option 3. Loss of all its leaves. Option 4. Loss of half of its leaves. Among these 4, which is the best option? It's a general question asked in the Karnataka CET exam. Then second question is, the wavelength of visible light, other name is in PAR, or photosynthetically active radiation. So options are given here. Option A, 390 nanometers to 760 nanometers. Option 2, 390 nanometers to 18 nanometers. Option 3, 535 nanometers to 647 nanometers. Option 4, 647 nanometers to 760 nanometers. Among these 4 options, which wavelength light is known as visible light or PAR or VIBGR? Question number 3 is, of the total incident solar radiation, the proportion of PAR or photosynthetically active radiation, means how much amount of visible light is used for photosynthesis process. Option A is given about 60%, option B is given as less than 50%, option 3 is given as more than 80%, option 4 is given as about 70%. Come to the answer, which is the right one here is, for first question, the better option is loss of its total leaves, means option 3 is correct one. Because of whenever a plant or tree lose its leaves, there is no food preparation, there is no photosynthesis, ultimately leads to death of the plant. The second one is an visual light or VIBGR light or PAR indicates that their wavelength light in between 390 nanometers to 760 nanometers. But in some times the question answer is given as in some books like 400 nanometers to 750 nanometers or 700 nanometers, but approximately as per textbook 390 nanometers to 760 nanometers is exactly right option. So then here is the total amount of solar energy used by a plant for photosynthesis process is by less than 50%, means out of VIBGR light only less than 50% of light is used for photosynthesis process by entire plant species. The next class, in the upcoming classes, we are going to try to understand the structure of chloroplast and some graphical information as well as reaction centers.